Hey guys, welcome back to Calibrate Tools, and thanks for stopping by. I read an article today that I thought was pretty interesting, and I'm going to share it with you guys today because it explains some of the conditions that we observe in our world today, in our community today. So here we go. It's titled, Why We Desperately Need to Bring Back Vocational Training in Schools. Okay, it was an article in Forbes magazine written by a guy named Nicholas Wyman. Okay, so let's jump right into the article. Okay, it says throughout most of U.S. history, American high school students were routinely taught vocational and job-ready skills along with the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Indeed, readers of a certain age are likely to have fond memories of huddling over wooden workbenches learning a craft such as woodwork or maybe metalwork, or any one of the hands-on projects that characterized the once ubiquitous shop class. How many of you guys remember shop class? I mean, it was everywhere, right? I used to love going to shop class. You know, they taught you things, hands-on things that you could take with you. You can build stuff and all that good stuff. Well, guess what? It's not around anymore. Okay, if you didn't notice. But in the 1950s, a different philosophy emerged: the theory that students should follow separate educational tracks according to ability. There we go with those theories, guys. And we see that when it says separate educational tracks according to ability, we know that was setting the tone for a lot of problems, right? A lot of politics was going to be involved in that, and we can just tell, right? The idea was that the college-bound would take traditional academic courses, Latin, creative writing, science, and math, and received no vocational training, okay? So let me back up here. It says that the college-bound would take traditional courses, academic courses, and they receive no vocational training. Those students not headed for college, okay, the non-college bound, would take basic academic courses along with vocational training or shop. All right. Ability tracking did not sit well with educators or parents who believed students were assigned to tracks not by aptitude, but by socioeconomic status and race. So, you know, the educators and the parents took notice. They said, okay, we know our kid is smart enough to be in a college-bound course. Why are they being relegated to the so-called low-hanging fruit of vocational shop classes and basic academic courses, right? I mean, if you were a parent, you would probably be saying the same thing. Everybody thinks their kid is smart and all that, right? So the result being that by the end of the 1950s, what was once a perfectly respectable, even mainstream educational path came to be viewed as a remedial track that restricted minority and working class students. Okay, so, hey, we predicted that already, right? We see the politics involved. People saw a disparity in the minority students versus the non-minority students, and where the minority students were being relegated to, right? Which is in the vocational basic, academic course model, versus non-minority students who are considered college-bound, right? And they're in the advanced college-bound courses and so forth. So what happened was, because of this, they kicked vocational training out of schools, which I understand where the parents were coming from, but guess what? Kicking vocational training out of schools didn't really help. Right, so you have a bunch of unskilled people in the workforce, and that wasn't a good thing. So it says the backlash against tracking, however, did not bring vocational education back to the academic core. Instead, the focus shifted to preparing all students for college, and college prep is still the center of U.S. high school curriculum. So they kicked vocational courses out of schools. And now everybody is college bound, right? So, all right. So it says, what's the harm in prepping kids for college? Won't all students benefit from a high-level 4-year academic degree program? As it turns out, not really, according to the article. For one thing, people have a huge and diverse range of different skills and learning styles. Tell me about it, right? Not everyone is good at math, biology, history, and other traditional subjects that characterize college-level work. Let's stop there. I think it's not that they're not necessarily good at it. It's just that they're not interested in it. When you're interested in something, you will become good at it. Right? If you're interested enough in something, you will be decent at it. But everybody's not cut out to be into biology or into math or into history or anything like that, right? So to pile everybody into that model, that was a recipe for disaster. Okay, so not everyone is fascinated by Greek mythology or enamored with Victorian literature or enraptured by classical music. Well, if you ask any minority student that, or what's considered people who are considered minorities, no, they wouldn't be necessarily interested in Victorian literature, or even some non-minority students, right? Some students are mechanical, others are artistic. Some focus best in a lecture hall or classroom. Still others learn best by doing and would thrive in the studio, workshop, or shop floor. Enough said on that. That's pretty self-explanatory. They said it well right there. Okay, and says, and not everyone goes to college. The latest figures from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, show that about 68% of high school students attend college. That means over 30% graduate with neither academic nor job skills. Okay? So, it says, but even the 68%, the ones that went to college, aren't doing so well. Almost 40% of students who begin four-year college programs don't complete them, which translates into a whole lot of wasted time, wasted money, and burdensome student loan debt. Okay. Moment of silence here for all the students with debt, student loan debt on their backs in 2020. We feel you, okay? And that's exactly what happened. You got all this debt, and some of you are working at Starbucks. Okay, so all right, so the BLS found. All right, let's back up here. Of those who do finish college, 1/3 or more will end up in jobs they could have had without a four-year degree. All right, the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, found that 37% of currently employed college grads are doing work for which only a high school degree is required. Imagine, you put all this time and effort into your college degree, and you rack up all this debt, and you end up getting a job with, that doesn't even need a college degree. I mean, how does that feel, right? It is true that earnings studies show college graduates earn more over a lifetime than high school graduates. However, these studies have some weaknesses. For example, over 53% of recent college graduates are unemployed or underemployed, and income for college graduates varies widely by major. Okay, philosophy graduates don't nearly earn what business studies graduates do. Finally, earning studies compare college graduates to all high school graduates. But the subset of high school students who graduate with vocational training, those who go into well-paying, skilled jobs, the picture for non-college graduates looks much rosier. So it's telling you right there, hey, look, if you graduate with some sort of vocational training, you're going to fare way better than someone who does not, because you got skills. It may not be the most academic of skills, but it's practical skills that you can take with you anywhere, right? And in a lot of cases, that's better than a college degree, if you ask me, in some cases. All right, so once again, where are we right here? Yet, despite the growing evidence that four-year college programs serve fewer and fewer of our students, states continue to cut vocational programs. Did you guys hear that? It says, I'm going to repeat that. It says, yet despite the growing evidence that four-year college programs serve fewer and fewer of our students, states continue to cut vocational programs. Why are they cutting these programs? In 2013, the Los Angeles Unified School District, with more than 600,000 students, made plans to cut almost all of its CTE programs by the end of the year. The justification, of course, is budgetary. The budget, is always the excuse, right? So it says, these programs, which include auto body technology, aviation maintenance, audio production, real estate, and photography, are expensive to operate. But in a situation where 70% of high school students do not go to college, nearly half of those who do go fail to graduate, and over half of the graduates are unemployed or underemployed. Is vocational education really expendable? In other words, should we just do away with vocational education in light of all this data we see around college graduates and the graduation rates and all that? Is it expendable? Should we just do away with it? Vocational education? No, I don't think so. Or is it the smartest investment we can make in our children, our businesses, and our country's economic future? Yeah, I think so. It's one of the best investments you can make. Why is that? Why is it one of the best? Because you're taking a holistic approach to the student body, to human beings. Everybody has different aptitudes, right? And if you don't take into account the different aptitudes of people, then you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to a properly skilled workforce that's available, right? So it says the U.S. economy has changed. The manufacturing sector is growing and modernizing, creating a wealth of challenging, well-paying, highly skilled jobs for those with the skills to do them. The demise of vocational education at the high school level has bred a skills shortage in manufacturing today, and with it a wealth of career opportunity for both underemployed college grads and high school students looking for direct pathways to interesting, lucrative careers. Many of the jobs in manufacturing are attainable through apprenticeships, on-the-job training, and vocational programs offered at community colleges. They don't require expensive four-year degrees for which many students are not suited. All right? I mean, think about it, guys. Without these vocational programs, you're not just hurting the kids. You're not just hurting the student body. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting the community. You're hurting the collective national community, and you're hurting the economy, right? And contrary to what many parents believe, students who get job-specific skills in high school and choose vocational careers often go on to get additional education. The modern workplace favors those with solid transferable skills who are open to continued learning. Most young people today will have many jobs over the course of their lifetime, and a good number will have multiple careers that require new and more sophisticated skills. Just a few decades ago, our public education system provided ample opportunities for young people to learn about careers in manufacturing and other vocational trades. Yet today, high schoolers hear barely a whisper about the many doors that the vocational education path can open. The college for everyone mentality has pushed awareness of other possible career paths to the margins, all right? They push them off to the sides. Like, man, you have no other option than to go to college. Man. The cost to the individuals and the economy as a whole is high. If we want everyone's kid to succeed, we need to bring vocational education back to the core of high school learning. Okay, guys, and that's one of the reasons why I have this channel, okay? Because I want to get kids, actually any age range, you can from 8 to 80. I want to get people familiar with tools, right? And that's why the Calibrate Tools channel was created, because I do feel there's a void to be filled in this area. And this article pretty much laid out all the evidence as to why that void is there, okay? And you know, especially minority kids, African American kids, and so forth, and other so-called other minorities, we need the skills, especially African American kids, okay? Because we understand the political climate that we live in, and you need skills. I mean, especially in the day of COVID, and I hope that word doesn't become an anathema where they take down your channel just for mentioning the word COVID, but nonetheless, it's out there, and a lot of schools have been shut down. So even if you wanted to go to school to learn a trade, or even just to go to college for whatever, guess what? A lot of the schools are not open, right? So, over here at Calibrate Tools, we took it upon ourselves to create a channel to teach about the trades or tools, and give tutorials on how to get familiar with them. But once again, anybody can learn. You don't have to be a high school kid looking for a job to learn how to use tools. Okay, this channel is for everybody to come and learn something. So, hey guys, thank you guys for listening, and go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you appreciated this information, and I'll see you guys in the next video.